there's this guy, josemonkey, that finds people that want to be found. Can we ask him to find us?
I suppose so.
Yeah, josemonkey, can you find us?
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Guys, I was excited to do this video, because I'm pretty sure this is the first time that a puppet has asked me to find them. So that was kind of fun. Also, I'm noticing that there's a bit of a trend in the last couple of videos that I've done, where you guys keep showing me things that cause me to search for stuff that might make somebody looking at my browsing history give it the side eye. Like recently I did that video in St. Louis, and in that one I had to search for places that dispense things that you can't buy in all 50 states, if you know what I mean. And then in the next video that I did, the major clue was that it was at a nuclear power plant, so I had to Google where all the nuclear power plants were in the United States. Totally normal stuff. Anyway, a bit unexpectedly, today's video continued this trend by causing me to search for some stuff that was kind of sus. So what can we see? The video begins with this person and the puppet on screen asking to be found. And guys, when I first looked at this one, I thought it might be really difficult because I didn't see very many clues. But then when I looked at it again recently, I noticed that we had a road sign, and I thought maybe it would be really easy. But then I looked more closely and I realized I couldn't read the sign very well, so I thought maybe it wouldn't be so easy after all. Just a real roller coaster of emotions on this. The camera actually turns very little throughout this video, and we can only see a few things. The main things we see are this nearby highway, the road signs that I mentioned, this unmarked white trailer here, and this large tree that had a fairly distinctive shape to it. Also, I noticed that in the background here we do have a billboard, but it was very difficult to read. Okay, let's take a look at those road signs. Guys, the video is just not clear enough to make out any of the highway numbers, but I tried to read the words, and I was thinking that maybe the words on the left side said Los Angeles. I figured that the words on the right were probably also city names, so I started trying to figure that out too. And I was thinking that maybe the first word was Santa, like Santa Monica, but the next word is very short. And then there's a third word here that appears to start with maybe an F or a P. So I started trying to think of what cities near LA might have names like that, and it didn't take too long to figure out that Santa Ana was probably a good candidate. I also wondered if Pomona might be the other word that I was seeing here, but I was really not confident about any of that. Without knowing any of the highway numbers and without being sure of the cities, I really needed more clues. So I tried to read that billboard. It's pretty hard to read because it's mostly obscured by the trees. But I did manage to figure out that the top word appears to say Tuesday. And then after quite a bit of squinting, I was able to make out that the next line appeared to have the number 2 and might say drinks after that. So I figured it was someplace advertising $2 drinks on Tuesdays. But that's not much help because lots of places have that deal. I tried hard to make out that next line of text, but most of it is obscured by the trees. In a couple frames, I could make out what looks like the number 5 at the start of the line. And then in some other frames, I could see that it looked like it might be long enough to be at least 2 words. And the first word appeared to have the letter S at the beginning, then maybe a letter E in here and also a K. And guys, when I saw that, the first thing that shot into my head was the word steak. That made me wonder if this was a place advertising $2 drinks and $5 steaks. But that sounded awfully cheap. And I realized that I couldn't really clearly see any dollar signs here, so I didn't know for sure if we were looking at prices or not. Like maybe it was just number 5. I don't know, guys, I was making stuff up at this point. But I figured I'd take a shot, so I just Googled Tuesday, $2 drinks, 5 steak. And guys, the first result I got looked very promising. And as I clicked the link to get a better look, I realized that things had suddenly gotten kind of sus once again. I'm just going to go ahead and refer to this place as the Library Club. Anyway, that billboard looked like it might be what I was seeing in the video, but I had no way of knowing if this place was actually anywhere near Los Angeles. The page where I found that photo didn't identify where it was taken. However, a quick Google search revealed 3 different locations in the Los Angeles area with that name. So I figured I was onto something. The billboard in the photo, which may or may not have been the same billboard from the video, said that this place was at the next exit. So I figured I should just look for highways near where those clubs were and try to figure out where you would take exits if you wanted to get to one of them. And it wasn't too long before I saw this spot where the road signs looked very much like what I was seeing in the video. But guys, it wasn't a match. First of all, we have no billboard here. And second, the signs are too far apart. If you look at the road signs in this photo as compared to the road signs in the video, you can see that the space between them just doesn't match up. That's when I realized that these signs were very close to where this exit 31 is. I thought maybe that's too close to the exit to actually be the right place. If this billboard was trying to tell people to take the next exit to get to the library club, it was probably a bit farther down the road to give people time to get over to the right lane if they had a sudden desire to get $2 drinks and $5 steaks. Something tells me nobody's going to this club for steak. Anyway, I backtracked a bit on that highway to see if I could find different signs that looked right. And when I did, I saw this spot on the Google Maps 3D view. Not only did the road signs look right, but we also had that other billboard from that photo I found. Of course, the library club billboard was nowhere to be found. In its place, we had one for the big guy himself, Jesus Christ. Not gonna lie, I did not see that coming. Anyway, I could also see that there was a parking lot nearby that had a pretty clear view of the road. So I went to check it out. And guys, that was it. You are here, outside the Exit Game OC escape room in Anaheim, California. So the time to find on this one says 48 minutes, but it was probably a little bit less than that because I stopped in the middle to make lunch for my kids. Anyway, I used Google Street View to confirm that we could see that very distinctive tree from the video, and also confirm this view of the highway where we can see the signs. Based on what we can see in the video, I believe you were standing right about here when you recorded it. Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And this time it was in Season 1, Episode 228, in Signal Hill, California. That's only about 17 miles or 28 kilometers away from this spot. Guys, check out the map of all the places I've found for you so far from the videos that you've tagged me in. And while you're on my site, maybe go check out my store if you're into that sort of thing. And if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that, on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.